How Long Gone. Beautiful day in Los Angeles. Let's fucking podcast, bro.
DJ Them Jeans is here.
Wicca.
Speaking of music, I am a little upset. I'm a little, I don't know if spiraling is being over dramatic, but I went on, like, sometimes, I don't know if you're like this, but this is, I got into DJing because I love turntablism, but also because music is kind of like so much more for me than just entertainment.
Are you saying, I don't want to step on your toes, but are you saying music is life?
It can be. Music has helped me out of some dark corners.
So are you saying that this morning you woke up and chose to listen to the Benny the Butcher featuring J. Cole song?
I did not listen to that.
Okay.
That hasn't reached my platform.
Yeah.
But, it's a Thursday morning, just like every other Thursday. If I am kind of spiraling, if I am going through it, I'll fire up my Weezify app and listen to a song that'll kind of calm me down. And wouldn't you know it, India Irie took her music off of Weezify as well. And now, what am I supposed to do at this point?
So you're telling me you were barefoot in the crib, you had the Nag Champa lit, and you were walking around. You had your flowy skirt on. You had your shells on. You had your linen pants.
My fat little ass was.
You were ready to talk to God through India while you were making your matcha, and you're telling me that Weezify didn't provide.
I'm asking myself, and I'm kind of answering my own question as the words come out of my mouth of what did Rivers do to make her remove, but we kind of know where it's going. He has a little bit of a troubled, storied past as it pertains to what he does behind the bedroom door.
I've heard about it, and it
makes me sick to my stomach.
Weezer makes me sick to my stomach too, Jason, and I'm glad that we can agree on that. But I'm sorry that you can't. I thought you had all of India's albums on vinyl, so it's a little crazy.
I do, but they're in storage like so many of my other brethren. I don't know, A-Track, if you're listening to this, or Diplo, or Wes, or Skrill, or Sonny, or any of you guys, if you have any like storage solutions for all the vinyl, do let me know if you want. We'll read your answer on the air if it pleases you.
Maybe A-Track and Dave One should, since they got money, maybe they should kind of invent some sort of record storage facility for like turntablists like yourself.
I thought at first you were going in a direction of like a minimalist furniture company for like a shelving storage solution, but you're talking about how, let's say if I have like a very impressive wine collection, I will have a temperature controlled underground somewhere near the airport. Marina Del Rey is kind of where I keep a lot of my 70s and younger.
No, I think it's
70s and older.
A nice temperature controlled facility. Every stall comes with a obviously tuned and perfected with Fresh Needles 1200 Techniques turntable listening station. And then I think that could be like a cool vinyl club. And, if Dave One would stop by in all those Saint Laurent heeled boots, he could do this. They could open this shit in a week. You know what I mean?
Just cuts down to 3 pairs of boots a month.
Yeah, dude.
This is done. I mean,
A-Track can sell his good music chain. And they're good to go, man. I don't know. These guys, they're leaving money on the table, and I'm not talking about the techniques now. You know what I mean?
The problem is, an endeavor like this, it's going to require a whole lot of runway, a whole lot of capital. And I don't know. I mean, it's got to be 3-4 years with a burn before we're going to see any profits, especially because you were talking about every room was going to have a fresh set of needles. Is that what you said?
Yeah, not those needles, Jason. Get your head out of your
Okay, well, because I've seen, like a lot of clean needle programs in the area haven't necessarily, kind of yielded the results that we were all hoping for. So we're like backpedaling on that right now.
I understand. I mean, maybe we can get a donation from one of our many sponsors. You know what I mean? Do we have a needle sponsor?
Turntable Lab, if you're listening, dig deep, brothers.
Turntable Lab. I know you unfortunately did have to close your New York location, but that means that they probably have a lot of needles in storage somewhere. It's something to think about, but I think this is a nice business opportunity, and we could get some of the bigger dogs involved if we had to.
Yeah.
To provide some upfront equity. I mean, upfront cash in return for equity.
You know, I don't like to call in favors, but something like this, you kind of got to, right? It's like, this is the moment you own it kind of thing.
I mean, look, when you decide to open your smash burger restaurant, you're going to have to make these calls. So you might as well do it now. I mean, what difference does it make? You do it now or you do it later.
How is that? I know a smash burger speakeasy opened up kind of in your hood
Yeah.
in Hollywood called For the Win.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I haven't tried it yet. I heard it's pretty good, but overpriced. But I didn't know that people still said For the Win.
Well, that's the most troubling part, I think, is the name. Like a lot of things in LA specifically, it's the product itself is not bad, but everything around it is.
I'm going to add For the Win to my airmail style words you can't say no mo.
I don't know if you saw this, Jason, and talk about upsetting. This is worse than NDRE not being available on Weezify. Vulture, our friends over at Vulture, who are still talking about Succession, even though the season has been over for 6 months. They launched a Wordle competitor.
Oh, no, really?
That's right. They're getting into the game.
Okay. I'm in the game.
And I don't like it one bit.
Do you know what it's called? Does it have a name?
Fuck no. I mean, they just retweet people talking about it all day to try to get people to sign up, of course. But I just don't.
Well, you got to unfollow.
I can't unfollow because I like some of their breaking journalism about another Che Diaz meme that's not funny, or or a story about how much meat they eat on Succession. These are things I need. These are things
how much meat they eat on Succession. That's a real thing.
That's a real thing. This is journalism that I must devour strictly to talk about it on this show. You know what I mean? But yeah, no pun intended there. But
gains.
So it's been a rough day. It sounds like it's been a rough day for all of us. Luckily, I was able to get my cardio in, which was nice. I had to go to the platform structure yesterday for a meeting.
Can you explain what that is for listeners who might not know?
It's an outdoor mall in Culver City. It was fucking popping. I guess so. I guess there's a new Italian restaurant there by the Medeo family of the famous Beverly Hills celebrity Italian eatery. Did you know that?
Oh, okay. I did not know that. Do you know what it's called?
I don't. I don't remember. They have a nice bakery. It seems like something we should maybe try, to be honest with you.
You know that we have a rule, don't go to Culver City unless there's a check, but if it means spending a lot of money, then I'll consider it,
Well, I could probably look, let's make some arrangements. But I have a bone to pick because obviously the coffee selection is Blue Bottle, and I want it to be jacked up for my meeting in top form, my brain firing on 100.
You want to get jacked for that meeting.
I had to go to the Nestle owned Blue Bottle Coffee location where I ordered a bold iced coffee. So it tasted pretty good, to be honest with you. But that wasn't the issue, Jason. This was served to me in a paper cup.
Okay, so this was an iced coffee.
That's right.
In a paper cup.
And I don't know if that's something like we ran out of plastic, or this is better for the environment, or we hate you. I don't know which one of the three it was.
It's funny because knowing Nestle, it's not environmental, but knowing Blue Bottle, it is.
So it was a strange, but you know what it did allow me to do, which I do sometimes when I'm drinking a beverage because I'm a man. You can't use a straw, obviously. I use a straw with a smoothie, and I feel, how that makes me feel. I don't love it.
Fellas, is it gay to use a straw? Absolutely is. But is there like an exemption to that rule if you are at a place where you don't necessarily trust the cleanliness of their dishwashing practices?
I mean,
like if you go to some place and they hand you, your water or your iced tea in a cup. Maybe it's a plastic cup or something like that, and you're like, I don't know if I like the way they clean this.
No, I don't.
But you're a man, so you're like, fuck it more. Rub the germs in.
I'm a man, bro. I'm a man. Much like you, I wash my hands before I pee. You know what I mean? That's real man shit. Anyway, so I had this, but the paper cup thing did allow me to go lidless, which I love the vibe of lidless.
Lidless iced coffee. I don't know.
I'm sipping lid free, ho, and it ain't nothing.
Iced coffee, I need a thick plastic bio undegradable cup.
Once again, you come on this podcast and openly admit that you're bitch made, and that's something that I just will never understand about
bitch
you.
made? What's bitch made? What is bitch made?
Needing a lid? That's bitch made.
You need a lid because the straw
just
goes
kidding.
through the lid hole. I don't want to teach you kind of the birds and the bees out of sipping, but when a mommy straw and a daddy lid love each other very much, you kind of have to put the square peg in the square hole, as it were.
No, I understand. But I mean, I got jacked on the caffeine.
Okay.
It was a beautiful. I blasted the Mazzy Star album on the way home and was pretty traffic free with the windows down, having a Cali afternoon. Luckily, because we're very close with the artist known as Benjamin Edgar, we did receive our single cigarette after dinner milled cigarette holder day of release. So I did have that, and I have yours ready to rock. Whenever.
It's on ice for me waiting.
Of course, I kept it in the original packaging.
I talked to Ben a lot. He actually custom made me a pair of his jeans that are very cool. So it was only natural that I kind of asked him to do a bespoke edition of his single cigarette holder. And this one's going to be a little more costly. It holds a whole carton of Pall Malls.
That's a great
one
idea.
is not, one.
No, it's not. It's not going to be enough for you. Well, I've been in deep discussions with Ben as well about creating me some sort of permanent gallon jug.
Not unlike my carton holder. This is not only going to be expensive, but it's going to be pretty heavy.
We should talk about our guest today, Jason. We do have a guest today. We're kind of dipping back into legend territory here with Dean Wareham. You might know him from the iconic shoegaze outfit Galaxie 500. He was also in a band called Luna. He also has done the score for one classic Noah Baumbach film, The Squid and the Whale, as well as Mistress America. He went to Harvard. He's from New Zealand. I mean, there's a lot to go through here.
Yeah. Grew up, went to high school in the 70s in New York City. Want to get a scene report. We can talk about, are they going to pull Luna or Galaxie 500 from Weezify?
We need to get hard data on how much Luna is getting streamed on Tidal. Yeah. And we have to ask Dean because no one else is going to answer us.
Does he like the new Charlie XCX record? Does he think Rena did a bad job? There's a lot to cover here. So let's give good old Dino Wareham a zoomie. Okay, so you said we could have done this podcast in person because you're close by. You're in New York, though, right?
No, I'm not. I live in Los Angeles.
Oh,
yeah.
Dean, you seem. I mean, I know you're originally from New Zealand, but you're a real New York guy in my mind.
I know.
So are you, Chris?
I spent most of my life in New York. I moved out here 8 years ago. My ex-wife moved out here with my son.
Dean, so you didn't have a choice.
She didn't snatch him. It was a conversation. She said, "I'm thinking about doing this. Would you move out here?" And Britt and I were like, "Yeah, that sounds fun, actually." So we moved out here from Brooklyn. We were in Brooklyn, and now my son is. The idea was to just stay till he graduated high school. Then he went off to UC Berkeley, got a degree during the pandemic, and now he's moved back to Brooklyn. And he says it's so great in Brooklyn. He loves it. And I'm like, yes, I know it is.
Well, he's wrong. I feel like he should be. I feel like he should be a Manhattan child. Do you feel any sort of way about his? I mean, I lived in New York for 13 years, and I've been in LA for like 7 months.
Is that all?
Yeah, I mean, I kept my apartment in the East Village for peace of mind. That's upsetting to some people in my life. But I just need to go back. I mean, I have some work commitments there that keep me going back, but I also need to go back because there's nothing to do here and no culture. So I need to go back and tap in to kind of replenish my tank. Do you feel like that at all?
I think there's culture here, but you do have to seek it out. You don't bump into it.
That's a good way to put it.
Where in LA do you seek out your culture, Dean?
You know what? I finally went to the Broad Museum last week.
Okay.
There we go.
A little on the nose for culture. Okay.
I thought it was kind of horrendous, actually.
Okay, go on, brother. Go on.
I mean, it feels It feels very much like a rich guy's like jerk off project. Absolutely.
Yes. It's like,
so it's an art gallery.
a friend of my dad saying this to me years ago about a friend of his who had just bought the Village Voice, and he said to him, the difference between men and boys is the size of their toys.
It's true.
This is
it's
a
true.
large toy. But
I mean, I think there's some good stuff in there, but like,
It's the size. It's the size of their dinner table. Isn't that where that giant, oversized dining room set is?
Yes,
Or is that
it
the
is.
LACMA?
No, that's at the Broad. That's at the Broad.
Okay.
yes.
But I mean,
yeah.
going downtown is one of the things I want to do the least. So you get kudos for that alone.
Well, you make a day out of it. You go Little Tokyo, get a nice little meal, walk around, hit the Broad, dodge some human feces. Downtown's a great place.
yeah.
You know, when Britt and I first moved out here, we actually looked in the downtown arts district, and there was like a loft, giant loft, you know, twice the size of where we lived in Brooklyn and way cheaper. And we were tempted, but then we just thought, no, we should not.
Yeah. So where in Malibu did you guys end up?
You know what? We were in Hollywood for a while. Now we're in Echo Park, the poor man's Silver Lake.
Well, I mean, it used to be. Now it's just as expensive.
Yeah, I think the houses are smaller, so it's not the fancy. But yes, you're right. It's, everywhere is right.
Wait, I'm a little confused. Do you live with your ex-wife?
No. I live with my current wife. And that's Britta Phillips.
Oh, I'm okay. I was confused. Okay,
Yeah.
I was going to say that's a twisted arrangement.
Yeah, no, I got remarried.
What is so? You have an adult child, an adult son.
He is 22 years old.
So what is this guy into? Is he trying to follow in your footsteps, or does he think you're a freak?
And has he made more money than you on TikTok alone yet?
Yeah, these are all good questions. He's out. You know what? He's applying to grad school. He wants to study philosophy and Lacanian psychoanalysis.
God damn it!
Yeah, I know.
So he hasn't made more money than you. Got it.
So Dean, you're going to be paying
smarter.
for him. You're going to be paying him for him till he's 40. You're coming to terms with that?
No. I think that.
No.
I have to look at my contract. I think at my age 21, I don't know.
I gotta check my contract. No, I think that I think that. But you're an I mean, for a guy that's been in bands for most of his adult life, you do have a proper college degree. So I think you're the outlier in that case usually.
We keep accidentally having Harvard grads on the podcast.
Is that right? Who else did you have?
We just had a comedian and a writer who was there. He ran the Lampoon when he was down.
Oh yeah,
he was a younger guy though.
I was in Conan O'Brien's class. He was at the Lampoon back then.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Conan. Yeah, Conan came up
yeah.
when we were talking to him. I think he's if you're into comedy and you went to Harvard, that's kind of your North Star.
Yeah.
Was he an asshole back then too?
He was. I barely knew him just to say hello, like wave to say hello to, and then when I was on the show when Luna broke up, or it must be around when we broke up, 2004. I was on the show and I was like, I went to school too. He's like, yeah, you were the guy with that hair, right? And I was like,
you're like, bro, you're known for the dumb hair, not me.
You're the hair guy. So did you have some fucked up hair back then, or what?
No more than it is now. I guess, yeah, it's a thing. No more than what I mean. He's the one known for his hair, right?
That's what I'm saying. But you have a great head of hair.
Thank you.
Yeah, your hair looks quite good.
Yeah, I think you've maintained nicely. You've like a fine wine. I'm impressed personally. That's
Thank
why I
you.
wanted to turn the camera on. We were talking about you before you came on, and you went to high school in New York in the 70s, which I feel like was cool. Or correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I arrived on my 14th birthday in 1977, and that was August 1, 1977. Somehow my mom got me into the Dalton school. I just missed Jeffrey Epstein That
was my next question. I was like, so did Epstein teach you economics, or did you learn that stuff on your own?
He had just retired at the Dalton school, which showed up in in Woody Allen's Manhattan, and
of course.
Sure. I think Trump went there too. Is that right?
I don't think so. He went to the military academy up in but I don't know where he went to high school.
Just you and your pal Epstein.
Just you and Epstein holding it down. I mean, well, but I think New York in the 70s is so mythic, to most people, but being like 17 or 18, were you running wild, or were you about your books?
I got good grades. I got my A's, but I was also running wild a little. So a little of both.
How wild are we talking now?
How wild are we talking? What? Yeah, not that wild. I mean,
you're a Dalton boy after all.
I dropped acid on the class trip. Whatever. I could have been expelled a couple times. I think I'm kind of look back.
Look, guys. I could have gotten expelled a few times.
You know what? The teachers they didn't want to. I mean, I'm thinking back to the other grade trip where I think my girlfriend gave me a quaalude and drank vodka, and I passed out. Like I could have, if someone wanted to bust me for that and kick me out, they would, but they didn't.
They had grounds. Okay, so
yes, they had rules. You know what? Back then, the Jeffrey Epstein thing kind of shows you how easy it was to get a job teaching there. That this guy. Did he have a college degree? I don't think so.
No, I think he was friendly with someone at the top, and it kind of just like got him in there. You know what I mean? Which I look, as a guy who doesn't have a lot of qualifications but has been able to do okay in his life, I can't really hate on that.
No, that's fine. It's fine. It's true. But it was different. Like I remember another thing, going to my drama teacher's apartment. He invited some of us over, and we go over there, and he's giving us a drink, and he's got a Penthouse magazine. And they were like, ooh, like now as the teacher,
hey, I'm the cool professor. Huh?
Yes, exactly.
We're gonna want to get you out of that shirt now.
Yeah, that would not go over. That would not go over well today. Absolutely not.
You mentioned the magical word quaaludes. I would like to know, could you just describe in detail what that high feels like for me, somebody who has no way of experiencing that sweet sting?
I feel like I've done it twice, and both times it was the same girlfriend who gave it to me, and both times I blacked out. Mm-hmm. And then the second time, we had broken up, and then we went out. She gave me quaalude, some champagne, and then I have no idea how I got home. And then 6 months later, it hit me. I was like, oh my God, we had sex that night. I couldn't remember it at all. And I was like, that's why things are so weird.
So if you remember what the quaalude feels like, then you didn't do it right. Is sort of
well, maybe with booze. It just
as a former, I'm a former OxyContin addict, and quaaludes are the. That's the top of the top. Like that's what you that's what you're that's what you really strive for.
That's the they don't make them like this no more of drugs for a true drug aficionado, The air-cooled Porsche 911, if you will.
Yeah. We all romanticize the generation's previous drugs, but that one particularly, I think because of the Wolf of Wall Street, I think that brought it back into the zeitgeist of popular culture.
Can you even get those things anywhere? Do they just not exist anymore? I don't think they exist.
No, they don't exist.
There's a lot of lore and mythology on the internet about people who have stashes hidden for decades in like South America, or there's scientists in other part of the country who are trying to like reverse synthesize the drugs.
Reverse engineer the quaaludes.
I mean, that's how much people, like, of all the drugs, it's like, it's a drug that was around and it's just fully extinct. Like, what drug can you think of that is like that now? Like, all the old drugs are still around. People are still doing heroin.
Heroin, yes. Not opium. There's no more opium.
Yeah, that's true. You've done some opium in your time, have you? Because I have. I've smoked some opium.
Really?
There was for a while. There was this stuff called fopium that was fake.
What?
Opium. I've done.
You got that at Erewhon?
Yeah. I don't know. I think if someone hands you opium, it probably isn't. Or like opiated hash. That was the other.
Yeah, that's what it. Yeah, it's more.
Yes.
We used to. Yeah, when I was younger, we would have a thing called Downer Sundays, and it was a. This is a different time.
This is your parents?
Yeah. Me and my mom, my sister, and my dad, and we would, before the Sunday roast was out of the oven, we would basically, you would get hash, you get opium, and you would light it on the AOL CD tins that used to come. So you would light it, get it going. You know what I mean? Because then it's smoking, and then you would take a toilet paper tube.
Oh my God!
And just kind of inhale off the tin. And just, float away.
So
man.
which train tracks were you living by, Chris, when this was all going down?
No, I was an upstanding member of society who had a job at a shoe store. I was contributing.
Right, okay. So you would see the photos in the opium dens. They'd have those kind of long ceremonial straws, and you're like, that doesn't cut the mustard. I need a straw that's about 2 inches in diameter.
Yeah, I needed the Charmin straw is what I like to refer to.
My penis would be swimming in it. That's how much opium smoke that I plan on ingesting right now.
So the compact disc, you're holding a flame underneath the compact CD? No.
It's AOL would send the CDs in like a tin. It was like you know what I mean? So you would put it on top and you would light it, and then it would get smoking and you would blow it out like incense almost.
You got to get resourceful back then.
It was free. It was sustainable if you think about it, really. You know what I mean? It was it was sent in the mail,
Yeah, that's true.
I'm fine. I mean, you've done extensive touring.
I mean, I never had a hit song, so that's when they put you on the road for like 18 months. Just
right.
Yeah, but you've been around. You've been around long enough and in enough bands where I feel like you've played the Ukraine on a Thursday. You know what I mean?
The closest I got was Prague. I've played the Czech Republic. Actually, it was Czechoslovakia.
Now, did like Galaxie 500, Luna, did each band have like weird markets that you would have to go to because you were very popular in like Germany specifically, kind of thing?
Galaxie 500 were popular in the UK. Well,
sure.
And Germany also. I mean, something happened to Germany. Used to be like the second biggest market in the world for recorded music, and then
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was huge, and then all of a sudden it isn't anymore. But nowhere weird, nowhere I don't want to go.
I was hoping you couldn't walk down the street, in Stuttgart. You know what I'm saying, or something like that.
I can't get near Honolulu. Those guys love me down there.
Spain, Luna are kind of popular in Spain. Like in Spain, there've been times like. I coming off to get my luggage from the thing, and the luggage hand is like, "Oh, can I take my photo?" But
really?
Maybe he just saw it. It's like, look, it's a guy with an electric guitar. I just think,
damn.
No, he was a Luna fan.
Do you guys ever play like the Primavera Festival in Spain?
One time, yes, I did.
How long ago was that?
8 years, I want to say 10.
Okay.
I don't like festivals. I don't like going to them. But
that's one festival I've always wanted to go to. They had like the perfect example of like modern kind of electronic music with like the older classic bands, but like they would choose the perfect ones every time, like a Luna.
Well, this year they're going to do it. They're coming to Los Angeles.
I saw that. I'm going to try to weasel my way in.
Speaking of festivals, I believe that this is 2022. If the stars align, I'm going to have to go to Coachella for the first time in my life at 39 years old.
Well, you'll find you'll just be. I went actually the year we moved out to LA. We moved in April. It was like a week later. Somehow I had to wangled some VIP tickets to Coachella. It's exhausting, and these were and this is these were VIP tickets, but
you get to stand on the other side of the chain link fence.
Yes,
exactly. I love VIP treatment and Harry Styles, so this is kind of two worlds colliding for me. But I'm a little nervous about feeling stuck. You know what I mean? Like once you're there, you can't really leave. Is what it feels like.
Are you going to camp? What are you going to do? Who's making you go?
Do I look like a camper to you?
He's not going. Against his will. He's never been, and he's kind of been actively
thinking about it.
Right. He's talked a lot of shit on it over the years, and in all festivals, but Coachella specifically because it's such a easy target for a lot of ridicule, but. He just loves Harry Styles that much.
Exactly.
I don't know when it really comes down to it. But you are stuck there at any festival. Like once you walk in those gates and you show them your wristband, like you're not gonna be like, you know what, I'm just gonna head back out, walk 45 minutes to my car, sit in traffic for 3 hours, go back home, take a little nap, and then I'll come back and catch Weezer at the end. Like nobody does that. You're locked in forever. You're curled up in a ball, sleeping on the dirt floor.
That's why the best festival that I've ever played is ATP, which was like a small festival.
All Tomorrow's Parties.
Yes, and because it would be in like these holiday camps, and you could go back. You could go to sleep. You could go back to your room and take a nap in between acts.
That is nice. But what about you've done Glastonbury and all that shit, right?
Oh, I did Glastonbury with Galaxie 500. Yeah, in the 1990, we were the first band on the.
So you're
on the
saying
first day.
you guys played at 11 a.m. on
Thursday? I think it was noon.
It's a noon.
And this back then, Glastonbury only had one stage. It was just everyone was on the main. I think it's gotten huge. I just remember the mud, just having to hose our feet out on.
I was holding out. I mean, that was the idea. I was holding out for Oasis reunion at Glastonbury. That was what I was holding out for. And I'm as time progresses, I'm starting to think that might just never happen. So my consolation prize is Harry Styles at Coachella. You win some, you lose some.
God, what a sad substitution. No offense to Harry.
No, of course not. But I think the mud part of it is also scary. I'm not a big wellies. I don't know how many pairs of wellies you have in the house right now, Dean, but I don't love the way that they don't make my calves look very good. You know what I mean?
There actually was an outbreak of trench foot.
Shit.
The year that I was, which is something that, in World War One.
They played right after you on the main stage.
Trench foot was on Rough Trade with you guys, right? I like that album.
Yeah.
I like that record.
And I also remember like a lot of cops as you go in, they're just shaking, make sure they've got any drugs in here. They're checking. They're checking. At Coachella, they're not doing that.
Can you tell me what trench foot is exactly?
I think we can kind of do the math. It's a little gangreney.
Yes, exactly. It's
okay.
Yeah, your extremities are exposed to muddy, dirty moisture for so many moments, and
it's probably a fungus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
No, that tracks. I can tell you went to college.
Walk me through your Harvard degree and what you've been using it on lately.
Yeah. I have a degree in social studies, which I know it sounds like something from fifth grade.
I did take that course in the fifth grade. Yeah.
You can get a degree.
I know social. I know studying. How is it compared to sociology, perhaps?
That's a good question. Yeah, you know what? It's like a multidisciplinary mate. There are no professors in social studies. It's just you take some anthropology, sociology, history, statistics, economics.
Sounds like a real roller coaster.
It does, yeah. Exciting stuff. How did you build this into your rock and roll lifestyle? I mean, I don't understand exactly. It's confusing.
Yeah, it was a waste of my parents' money. I know. It was cheaper back then. I was not really a very good student in college. I did have a band. I worked at the radio station, so maybe that had more impact on me than anything else. Working at the radio station.
Yeah, I mean, college radio, because I grew up in Atlanta, and we had a station there called WRAS 88.5.
Yeah, I've been there.
Which, yeah, I was going to say, but it has I believe it was like the most powerful like college radio station in the country as far as like reach and like wattage and stuff.
Not influence.
Oh no, influence as well. But I just remember how important that was to my upbringing, and then realizing like that it was just like some doofus I knew playing the Smiths. You know what I mean? It felt like this bigger thing than it was.
That's true.
And I'm like,
That's true.
bro, this is some dumbass that's 3 years older than me. Like,
yeah, he's a little older. He's heard some more records than you have.
Yeah, and it's like,
but
if I thought I wasn't getting laid, just imagine what this guy who works at the radio station on purpose is doing.
But actually, the music director when I DJed, it was a guy named Jeffrey Weiss. And then he went on to various A&R jobs. He's a great guy. I've run into him since he lives in Los Angeles, and
well, there's a guy named Jeff Weiss who's been on this podcast before, but he's younger. I don't know if
it's not the same guy.
No, yeah,
okay.
This guy would be 59 or 60.
Small world, hey, what do you know? The real Jeff Weiss. Shots fired.
Wait, do you collect vinyl? You seem too smart for that.
I have some vinyl, but I'm not I don't obsessively collect it.
Yeah, I don't. It seems like a fool's errand to me, but I guess I buy stuff obsessively too that people might think is dumb, so I can't really fire shots,
But you managed to.
But you know what? It does appreciate the value. It is. I don't know where you'll.
That's true.
Right now.
That's especially right now because things come out. It's like there's 2,000 of them, and you're like, well, that's $30. That's a lot. But then a year later, people are just trading them for a lot more than that. So I'm told.
Sure, no, it's true. It's all true. Well, now that you're in Los Angeles, no longer a New Yorker, how has your life changed? How have you gone soft? How have you improved? What are you, indica or sativa? What, all that stuff.
Is your what's your mile time around the reservoir?
God.
Where's the Silver Lake Reservoir? I go for a hike and I go for a slow walk.
Yeah, you strike me as a slow walk guy when it comes to exercise. You don't really strike me as an intense guy.
Hey, that's cool.
It's true. I'm not an intense. So I mean, yesterday, you know what? I played golf yesterday. I did that.
Where are you playing golf at?
In Griffith Park, those public courses.
Yeah. Wow, it's so crazy. I've played golf there a bunch of times. I DJ'd a wedding at that golf course one time. It was a little nasty, but I just went hiking around there like last week, and now I'm like, well, the guy from Galaxie 500 plays golf there.
Yep. Wait, we shouldn't talk about golf. It'll scare people away from your podcast.
Oh no, we don't want to talk about golf whatsoever. Don't worry. We're more of a tennis. We're more of a tennis family over here.
Oh yeah.
You ever dabble in the gentleman's game?
I was playing tennis for a little while when I moved out here, mostly to get my son, who we've discussed.
Is he a player?
No, he's not. But so to get him off the computer, stop playing Minecraft. Well, come on, let's go play some tennis. So then I got a table tennis. I tried.
Great parenting. I like that. You got to get these kids moving. You know what I mean? If you're there's three things that we cover on this podcast the most. One of those is sports, which are not sports, but working out, which I think we just covered. You don't really care about that stuff.
Well, we don't know that. You might do some wellness yoga.
I tried. I don't do yoga. My wife Britta does yoga a lot. And
let's get her on the mic then.
Yeah, she'd like me. She's always trying to convince me to do some yoga. Yeah. No. I do a little something, but
you're just blessed. You're just blessed. It must be nice. Some of us have to work for this shit, bro. Okay,
it is nice, Chris. It is nice.
The other thing that we like to discuss here is, especially with Angelinos, is the preferred grocery store and what it says about you. And you strike me as a cookbook guy, but I don't want to
cookbook on the weekends, Chris.
Yeah. What's your daily driver though, Dean?
Let me tell you how I am at cookbook about 5 times a week.
Oh, baby,
Dean!
It's just down the street from me, so why would it's that was the first place I found a decent loaf of bread in Los Angeles. I was here for 4 years. Like, the bread sucks.
Yeah. The bread is good here now, but for a while, that baguette at Cookbook was kind of the only thing that was really, really excellent and special, wasn't it?
Yes, it's true. That was like the only good one. Yeah, you're right. It has improved. I remember I was at a restaurant once, and I was like, "This is a good baguette," and they're like, "Oh yeah, well we fly it in from New York."
That's too far. That's too far. Are you cooking?
I cook sometimes. Britta cooks more than I do, but we eat home like most of the time. So that's a big difference between living in New York and living here. Like here, I don't know why. Just maybe we're just lazy. It's in New York, all you had to do is walk outside, go like a block or two.
Totally.
Brooklyn or the city, doesn't matter.
Here, it's like, all right, well, let's drive to this place. It's like, no, I don't want.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. I'll just have a bowl of cereal at home.
Yeah, I'm having Cheerios for dinner again.
I don't want to unplug the Tesla and everything. What color is your Tesla, Dean?
It's no Tesla, not yet.
No Tesla. Okay, that's cool. Are you an automobile man?
Well, you need one out here, don't you? I know how to drive.
Yeah, okay.
I learned on the wrong side. We drove our Subaru Impreza Outback from Brooklyn to Los Angeles with stuff in the back.
Really?
Why would you do that?
Cool.
Why would you? You've done that in a bus, in a van. Why would you do that in a car?
This was good though, because it was just like 8 hours a day of driving, and then I didn't have a sound check, and I didn't have a gig. I could just
you just get to go to the shitty hotel. There's no fans. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is perfect. That's what an arrangement.
It's just the best part. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you live in an interesting LA lifestyle. I feel like you're not participating in a lot of the stuff that most people are.
Like you gentlemen, if you get to work from home.
Yeah.
A little bit. Mm-hmm. Then the number one problem is eliminated, which is traffic, right? That's the thing that people scream about.
Yeah, we're privileged enough to remove that from our life if we want to.
Yes. That said, if you go back to New York City now, the traffic is just much worse than it was 10 years ago.
How often are you going back?
Like once a year for a gig.
Once a year, that's it.
And I'll be going back for a gig. I got a gig in May 11th.
Where are you playing?
On Bleecker Street, Le Poisson Rouge.
Oh.
That place used to be the Life. Was that the name of it? Like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, like the famous nightclub for sure. No, I've been to Le Poisson Rouge.
I love your accent. there's going to be like a solo show type of thing? Are you doing something new and different? What's going on?
I'm playing songs from my new solo album, which is new and different to me, and then then a bunch of old songs too.
When does the new record come out?
It came out already in October, I want to say. I think it was October.
Yeah.
It's called. I want to show you a picture.
Please.
Please.
Not that anyone else can see it. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's called "I Have Nothing to Say to the Mayor of L.A." That's the title of the album.
Is this a politically charged album from you?
A little bit more than usual. Yeah, there's an anti-war song on here.
Oh, I was hoping for anti-mask, but I guess I'll take anti-war.
Oh no.
Our speaking of masks, I think our mayor of Los Angeles was recently spotted in a photo in a football stadium with Magic Johnson, without a mask, and his excuse was, "Don't worry, I was just holding my breath."
Yeah, I saw.
It's so cool.
I saw that this morning.
What a wild! I like to imagine him with his team being like, "All right, what about this excuse?" I'll say I'm holding my breath, and everyone's like, "That's it. That's the one. No one's gonna.
That's it. Let's go with that.
No one's gonna have a problem with that."
I thought he would
airtight.
I thought he would be an appointed ambassador to India. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. It sounds like a joke, but I thought he had. He was like, because as payback for supporting Biden early on, there's like no. That was the story.
Those ambassador jobs are considered. Those are just given out as gifts, right? Those are like fake jobs.
But also it's a stepping stone into further politics. Higher,
yes.
something greater than being the mayor of LA.
Yeah. I mean, I would love an ambassador job. I don't know if every country would be perfect for me, but I think that I could probably make it work.
Whichever countries you don't jive with, Chris, I'll handle the other ones. I'm diplomatic in my own way, just like you.
You get a driver and a license plate, a special license plate.
Oh, you get and diplomatic immunity, right? You go wild.
Diplomatic plates on the G-Wagon.
Oh, baby.
Oh man, I'm ready to trade some arms. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm ready to be a
some
criminal.
of that Saudi blood on my hands.
Happy to be a criminal.
The other thing that we talk to recording artists about on this podcast are syncs.
Sync licenses.
Mm-hmm.
Like the license, not not something that you'd see in the loo.
Right.
What we like to talk about are, the good and the bad of the syncs. Everyone, from the biggest band to the littlest band has had some type of sync scenario that ended up being very fortuitous. Didn't think it was going to go that way, but it did. Or full heartbreaking despair because the keyboard player didn't like Kentucky Fried Chicken, so now I'm homeless type thing. So do you have any tales like that? Any sync talk?
It's hard to turn down that money. I tell you what, the one
smart man. Okay,
the one sync job that was kind of painful for us was Philips. Those Philips ads for I don't know, when they were getting back into, they're just trying to reintroduce their brand to America, and they came to us and said, we want a little cover of the Beatles singing "It's Getting Better All the Time." I have to admit, it's good. So
I remember this commercial.
Yeah, you did, so we did it, and we worked really hard on it in the studio. I've got to admit it's getting better. Is it I've got to admit or I have to admit it's getting better? And there were arguments at the ad agency, but anyway, about that. But anyway, we did the thing, and I remember a manager calling up, and she's like, and it was going to be like $250,000. And she said, that basically you've got it. And I said, what does basically mean?
Yeah.
Normally, basically, it puts me at ease, but it's not putting me at ease right now.
Yeah. And basically what happened is that then somebody new came in at Philips or the ad agency and changed their mind. And then they had this band Gomez do it. So not only did we lose out on the job, but then we had, every time that ad just ran all the time, we just had to watch, and I had to watch this guy with a growly blues voice. I'm going to do it.
Fuck Gomez. That's what I say.
Whoever this creative director of this agency was really indie leaning. I tell you what, Gomez, that's like.
Yes, it's true. Well, that's interesting you say that, because I feel like this was late 90s. And at that point, the people at ad agencies were more adventurous than the people at radio stations.
Yeah. The interesting part about this situation is that you guys had to record like a cover. It's not just the call that's like, hey, we like track 3. That shit slaps. We're going to use it. like, here's the money. Like, you had to work for it.
Yes. Well, doing a cover in a way is easier. It is when people call you up and say, okay, here's what it looks like. We got this Led Zeppelin song in here. We want to give that kind of vibe. And I'm just like, come on.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that kind of vibe from me or from anyone. It's Led Zeppelin. Hello.
That's a good point.
Just quickly do a Zeppelin song.
Yeah.
Try it.
Just capture their unique magic and spirit.
But with 10% of yourself in there as well.
Of course. Well, I
Make
mean,
it your own.
I don't know. I mean, I think at this point, you live through the sellout era, where that's not really a conversation anymore.
So,
Like, everybody does everything for money and the fans love it. Whereas I think in the 90s, that wasn't the case.
I'm going to talk about my record again. I've got a song in here called Cashing In. But the chorus is, I'm not selling out, I'm cashing in.
So you're pro cashing in then, much like us.
Well, it depends what it is. If I wouldn't let a song be used in an ad for the Marines, or I don't know. There's places I draw the line. The question is, how much money is it again?
Well, that's always the question. There's like the two categories. There's like absolutely not. There's the absolutely yes, and then there's the what's the budget?
Yeah, But I do know of another. Yeah, I do know of another band. A Welsh band, I'll just say, but they'll remain nameless. Okay. Who were offered like a McDonald's ad, and I think 3 of the 4 were like, "Yes, please, we want that money." But then one of them was like, "No, they're serving up cows, and I'm opposing."
So this was Manic Street Preachers. I'll take that as a yes.
Okay, yes, it goes without saying. The Manics did it again. I mean, I think that the moral, I understand the morality of the whole thing, but I also think that we live in a world that is just, we are constantly, engaging with corporations in every single way, and I just think it's unavoidable to a point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the Spotify thing. I'm just like, so what are you going to do, guys? Like, are you going to go to Weezify? Is that going to fit? You know what I mean? Like, what are you really going to do?
I know. I've been asked this too, obviously this week, and I just pointed out to someone, I'm like, look, let me show you the statistics of where my digital income comes from. And it's 45% is from Spotify.
Yeah.
20% from iTunes. And then it's like, Pandora.
You're telling me
Amazon,
that Luna's not big on Tidal? That's crazy, man. I thought that would have been up in the top.
You can be big on Tidal, but Tidal is 1% of so that's the thing.
True.
That's the thing. And so now it's like, yes, Spotify don't pay enough, but they also pay the most. It's
yeah. When you put it like that, it's a true conundrum.
They pay a worse rate. But since they're bigger,
I'm just not a big. It's funny because I'm a big singer songwriter guy. Neil Young was never for me. It's I don't know. I don't know why that is. I just never got into Neil Young.
You're not a revolutionary cat.
I guess no, I'm not. I'm definitely not. That is because there's a lot of young people that are like, who is Neil Young?
Yes, I'm sure.
Which is crazy. Mm-hmm. Which is absolutely. I mean, because he's a legend, so it's kind of crazy to see that. But I guess that that is not music for everyone, to say the least.
He's opposed to the sync license also. If you remember that old song, "This Note's for You," it was a whole song about not.
He must be very frustrated because all these things, syncing and streaming and everything, like that's just normal now. It's just it's ubiquitous. It's the status quo. It's what everyone does. He must feel like he's taking crazy pills.
Well, it's true. He can do it. He's whatever. He's wealthy and he's getting on to his right.
Well, that's the issue that I hear from a lot of musicians, especially like working class, for lack of a better term. It's like this is our income. Like we haven't been able to tour. We haven't been able to do this. This is our income. It's like. It's easy for people to take a stand when they're rich.
Yeah,
that like anything else in life.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, if you're a young band and you put your record out and you don't put it on Spotify, it's almost like you don't exist. It's almost like it doesn't. It's just
Bandcamp ain't hitting the same.
It's like we're writing a book and it's not available at Amazon.
Right. And, it doesn't mean we can't to organize and try and get Spotify to pay better. I'm all for that, but
we're working on it right now.
Yes,
how do you feel about it seems like not a win for podcasting compared to musicians, but it was definitely a little bit of a turning of the tide in terms of podcasting being this niche little thing, and now it's starting to take big victories against
It's true.
music. You
Yeah.
know, does that are you shaking in your Wellingtons over there?
Well, I mean, it's all these big companies, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. They're YouTube, none of them are actual music companies, right? Even though
Yeah, of course. No,
so they can use music to lure you in.
They've broken a lot of careers of musicians. Get a song in an Apple commercial back in the day could change your life, type of thing. You know?
Oh yes, there's that. Yeah, that. Yeah.
you remember 1, 2, 3, 4 by Feist, I'm sure.
Yes, that's true.
Small example.
Yeah, that's a small example. She's figured it out, you know, post 1, 2, 3, 4 success, reeling from the success.
We have the same booking agent. By the way, you guys have the same booking agent that I do.
Oh, High Road.
I don't know if you knew
Damn.
that.
You know, it's
We're
funny.
working on-
I just got an email from High Road while we were recording.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I noticed that when I read about your show in the New York Times.
Oh, thank you.
When was that? Like 3 months ago? 4 months ago?
Something like that. Yeah. November-ish or so.
It said you had just signed to High Road Touring, and
We're also signed to Jaguar, the independent record.
oh, that's
label.
right. You've got a record deal. I don't even have that.
Dean, look, I didn't want to rub it in, but I mean, I didn't. But
Yeah.
you've had.
Did you talk to those guys for me?
I can send them your demos if you just want to send them over. We transfers best. But in your experience, because we've talked to a few people on the show, and they're kind of like, look, major labels do a lot of work that I don't want to do. It's not as bad as people, it's not actually that bad if you have the right people working for you. Was that your experience, or are you on some fuck the labels shit?
No, you know what? When you start doing this stuff for yourself, like if you start managing the band yourself or running a label yourself, you all of a sudden realize how much work goes into every little thing, and appreciate those people a little bit more.
Right.
You know, if there were some people at Elektra I didn't like, but there were some people who like, I don't know, they were there working to get more people to hear your record.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you need the team. So you're doing it yourself now.
Yes. Well, I mean, I have a distributor. I don't. Yes. Yeah.
So you get a little money. You get a little money from Red, to promote the thing, but not a lot.
Right. I do go to the post office quite a lot.
No, you're not. You shut the fuck up. That would be. I would love to see you in the Subaru just loading boxes of records at the post office. That'd be a great thing to see.
Dean, we got to get you an intern over there. Do some of these post office runs.
It's true.
Who's the staff of the label? Is it just you?
Who's the staff? Well, they're in the warehouse in North Carolina. There's people there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I understand. So they're off site.
I've got my publicist Lisa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's up, Lisa?
There's nobody here.
Well, I think that I'm of the mind, and Chris kind of disagrees with this, but I like a little bit of that kind of tangible work, filing orders and stuff.
Yeah.
Putting, maybe a little handwritten thank you note on there. Or, we'll throw in an old sticker or something like that. I feel like you're building a fan or a customer or whatever, a friend for life when you're doing that. The unfortunate part is it is a pain in the ass and it gets old in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, but it's easier. It's easier to go to the post office than it is to write a song.
Ah, okay. So it's a perfect distraction when you're not getting that second bridge nailed
It is
down.
really, isn't it? It's just like, I need to organize the LPs.
Yeah, we love busy work. I get that.
And if I'm gonna go over to the post, the Subaru's filthy. I should probably go take it in to get detailed. And I'm probably gonna get a little peckish after that. Get one of those little finger sandwiches from Proof. It's right down the street. And
yeah. You're making a latte in the kitchen. It takes 15 minutes minimum.
so, what are some other ways that you distract yourself, Dean, from the work that has to be done? You know what I mean? Instead of writing another hit record, what are we doing?
Yeah, what do you do all day?
We all do it.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I got to clean the gutters out. Or,
Dean, my kind of guy.
so Britta's like, get down off there. You'll break your leg. I'm like,
But you're doing the work around the house and the Telecaster's sitting on the wall, is what you're saying.
You know what? You know what I'm doing today? I got practice today. I delayed it a little so I could talk with you two.
Well, this is more important than practice. You've been playing guitar for 40 years. You're fine.
That's true. I don't need to practice. True.
The only time that Telecaster's getting strummed is when a Swiffer runs across it. Is what it sounds like, Dean.
So you're practicing with a full band, or is
I'm practicing with the band. I got a show coming up in. It's confused. I'm supposed to be like in London today. I was supposed to be on tour, a UK and European tour that has been postponed now for the third time.
Jesus.
Well, we can talk to High Road for you if they're not kind of pulling their weight. If you need us to, we can.
Chris, we might have to talk to Boris for this one. It might be out of their jurisdiction.
Yeah. It was close. We had to make the decision in December. Anyway, just at the numbers, it just wasn't looking like this would be a good time to be riding it around the UK in a van.
It's a smart move. Unfortunate, and it must be very disheartening to cancel your tour 3 times.
It's because you know what? It's rebooked for July. I'm like, you know what? July in Glasgow will be a lot nicer than February. And anyway, so we're playing Pappy and Harriet's in a month, and then San Francisco, and then the LA show is in May. Finally,
where's the LA show?
Zebulon.
Whoa, damn. Okay,
cool.
damn.
Yeah, I like that place.
Do you guys need an opener? What's going on?
I have an opener. Why do you guys like to have people abuse you?
We do live shows. We did a tour. We were lucky enough to get in that little window at the end of last year before everything got shut down again.
Yeah.
I can offer, of course, a DJ set if the budget is looking good. Otherwise, we can do a live podcast.
No, D, we played it. We played only classic indie rock venues. We did Bowery Ballroom in New York.
Yes, and I saw that one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's the same venues.
That's what I mean.
It's almost as if we have the same agent.
It is almost like those guys.
Little peek behind the curtain of the industry.
Yeah, I don't like to show people that, but so your wife is in the band.
She is for a long time now. Yeah, she's in Luna too. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're a freak for that one. I don't.
A lot of most of the people I know, they have
exactly.
They got a studio lock up so they can go, get away from the old ball and chain.
You're right.
But not you. So where do you go to escape and get a little solo time other than the hills of Griffith Park?
Well, here I am right now. I'm in the basement. I'm in the granny flat.
Granny flat, I like that.
Yeah.
But you guys have been making music together for the entirety of your relationship.
In and out of the bedroom.
Yeah.
You're a very advanced guy for that, man. I don't think a lot of fellas could deal.
Yeah, well, we have different skills. You know what? She's a much better engineer than I am.
Really?
So she's pulling her weight on the board.
She is pulling her weight, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I just feel like it's a lot of togetherness. You know what I mean?
That is true.
I feel like Chris is projecting his own personal life situation.
No.
I'm
really not. But it's always interesting to me when it's like, everything is so deeply intertwined. You know what I mean? And touring is also stressful. It's stressful. It's it's not the most fun situation every day. So I feel like
it's true. So so it's not always perfect. But I prefer this to the way my life was before. Leading a whole different life on the road. Whatever, it catches up with you. That shit.
Say no more, brother. Say no more.
You'll find out.
We've all had a tryst in Orlando, haven't we?
Yeah.
Something in the water down there.
Dude, the tour manager's banging on your door at the Four Seasons in Tampa, and you're not waking up. It's bad.
Lobby call, Dean.
Lobby call moves for no man.
You know what? I'm usually the first in the van.
Really?
Do you party, Dean? Are you sober? Or are you just a normal guy who drinks wine?
I'm not sober.
I'm not sober. Next question.
I will drink wine, and occasionally I'll let loose once in a while.
You have a little puff of marijuana, or are you talking about something
like that?
Okay, something like
that. I was about to say, if you're still doing coke, I'm going to have to call it something.
No. I won't do coke. I won't. I have a friend tried to get me to do that recently. He's like, this is the best. It's like the best, the purest coke. I'm like, I don't care how good it is. I don't like. I'd like you put it out. You put it in front of me. I'm like, that looks like fun, and how could I say no to that? But then I think I'm going to die, and I don't like thinking I'm going to die, and maybe it's all up here. But
if you get bad coke, then you definitely feel like you're going to die. But sometimes was this friend of yours, quote unquote, somebody whose knowledge of cocaine you could trust? Because
Yes.
you can trust them. Okay.
Yes, he was very.
Because I have a friend.
Yes.
There's like 3 people in my life who, if they're like, I know you normally don't do
Right.
this. I know you're not a coke guy, but like,
But this is the shit.
I gotta tell you, this is. And if they catch me in the right mood, I got a martini or 2 in me, I might take a little tootski.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
But you've done enough cocaine in your life. I'm assuming.
I have. Yes, I've done enough.
Done enough.
I've done enough. I mean,
The classic thing they say: some people have a go button and a stop button.
Yeah.
and some people only have the go button. Right?
Yeah.
I certainly have the stop button. I know when to.
Thank God we have the stop button.
4 in the morning, and I'm like, no, that's it.
Yeah.
did you guys do any crazy opening slots in your time?
Who did we open for? We opened for the Screaming Trees.
Classic.
I was thinking more Rolling Stones. I love the Screaming Trees, but
a little more Bowie.
We opened for the Velvet Underground.
Oh,
When
shit,
they
really?
When they reformed, Luna did that to us. So that's the biggest.
So you guys got a lot of Velvet comparisons over the years, but you personally don't think that you guys sound like them too much. But then when they ask you to open for them, is it like, okay, it's a little on the nose, or how did you feel about that?
I thought someone was putting me on that it was even happening.
Yeah.
It's like, what? What are you talking about? They're getting back together? What? I don't know. I wasn't going to say no to that. I'm not too worried about it.
So do you agree with the comparisons of Velvet Underground?
Not really. I think I feel like having seen them play live, I just think nobody sounds like them. They were really, they had like the viola and the drummer standing up, and it's like I think Luna's a lot more pop and melodic than they. I don't know. So I don't think.
I like Luna more than the Velvets, if that makes you feel any better.
Oh, that's I don't.
Yeah. That's what he needed to hear. That's what he needed to hear. Yeah. That's what he needed to hear, Jason. Some podcaster said he liked my shit better than the dead guy shit. Thanks, bro.
I'm not much like your life partner. I am I'm a bit of a gear slut. A lot of people say the magic of Velvet Underground is that lo-fi quality to it, but sometimes you're like, I wish I was listening to this music in a little bit more fidelity. And
oh yeah, that's true. And also,
what your band is
but also just we recorded it in an era where there was more. Yeah, the 90s when there was more fidelity.
How are you at the drums though? Can you play the drums?
Terrible.
You can't play the drums?
Not at all.
Unbelievable. So
You know what? I'm usually the worst musician in the band. That's it. The songwriter is often the worst musician.
but that's good. I think
Yeah.
I think that's a good sign. Like I don't want you to be a shredder. That's dorky.
But it's also fun to be the worst musician in the band.
Yeah, it's true.
And walk around and be
That's
like,
true.
what are you
That's
guys going to
true.
do? Kick me out? That's what I thought, pussy.
I know.
Have fun with your little nerd time signature scales or whatever.
You guys,
I'm going to go write another hit.
I'll be back. I'm going to write another hit.
So what's some of the non-traditional music that you've been listening to lately? Have your spirits soared into the world of electronic dance music? Are you into two-step UK garage, drum and bass, anything like that?
No, I'm afraid not.
No, Jason, he's cool. He's cool, bro. He plays guitar and listens to music made with guitars.
What might be the most surprising musical artist or style of music that you happen to like? A cheeky little secret that only Mummy knows about.
Well, if I like the right song by like Britney Spears or something, I'm not opposed.
There we go.
I mean,
that's right, Dean. Because Dean, much like me, you can respect a hit. You don't want to hear all this bleep bleep bloop bloop fucking electronic shit.
But you can have a bleep.
You want to hear a chorus.
Britney Spears makes a lot of bleep bleep music, Chris.
No, she does. It's true. That's true. So is that it, Jason? Jason likes bleep bleep.
Well, I like all music, but I am partial to a little bleep bleep as well. I mean, Bjork just played in LA and I missed her, and something like that is a nightmare for Chris, but an evening
I
of
like Bjork. I'm not going to go see Bjork.
She's a nice mix of the bleep bleep and the other.
I agree.
That's true. I'm going to see. I did buy tickets to go see Jawbreaker and the Lemonheads. That's a little more my. I'm a big Lemonheads guy.
Where is that going to be?
Wiltern.
Oh yeah.
Are you going to go see the Lemonheads, or are you going to go see Evan Dando and the band?
It's always the Lemonheads if Dando is in front. That's my take on that, I think.
Yeah.
Well, but why though? Is it the Stones? If Keith ain't there?
No, but
is it the Smiths if Johnny ain't there, Chris?
There's no other member of the Lemonheads that anybody can even name.
I can, but I was there. I was there.
You don't count, Dean. You don't count, Dean.
I mean, but you know what I'm saying. Like overall, there's no Keith Richards of the Lemonheads. It's merely Dando. And I mean, I guess you guys are probably, you and Dando are similar. Like you guys came up at the same time, I guess.
Yeah, he's probably a couple years younger than I am.
Yeah, he's a couple years younger, but he I mean, I don't know why for me, it's like always like realizing how old he is always like surprising to me.
Lemonheads and Galaxie 500 came out of Boston at the same time. They were more popular than we were.
Oh, I forgot the Boston Connect. I always forget about that. Yeah. You, Van Morrison, and the Lemonheads, all my favorites.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Van Morrison is no longer. I can't call him a favorite, but it'll stay between us.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Were you listening? Final question: were you listening to any like straight edge hardcore punk music back in the day? A little slap shot from Boston, maybe?
I liked Minor Threat.
Damn right, brother.
What about Fugazi? I feel like you would like Fugazi.
And Fugazi, too, yes. Only the,
Creme de la creme for you.
Yes, exactly.
The prestige.
Mm-hmm. He only wants the foam on top, is what he said. All right.
Very
damn.
nice, Chris.
Dean, appreciate you. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for taking the time, Dean.
You guys go listen to the record. Obviously, you've got a deep catalog available for streaming and purchase wherever music is sold.
Yes, exactly.
Available now on Spotify.
Exactly. You're playing in May in LA, you said?
Yes, at Zebulon. May 11th at Zebulon.
So all you 19-year-old TikTokers smoking cigarettes at Zebulon, stay for Dean's set.
Yes, exactly. Or maybe they're coming for the after. Sometimes you're playing, but the real thing's happening later. They're loading in right as you're loading out.
Whatever it takes.
I will be DJing after you, yeah, and that's fine.
We'll make sure to say hello.
So we'll see. I'll save some of my Casamigos for you, though, Dean. Don't worry. We'll do a shot before you go on, just like we did in the old days.
Oh man! All right, Dean. Thank you. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Later, man.